Okay, thank you for coming to Digital Blackface, episode 30. Episode 30, the first episode 30. Nothing happened before this.
Wait, can we
30B.
We didn't get
30B.
we did not get copyright stricken by Disney. We are doing a great job. Amazing job, okay? We're here with Carl, Lotto, Amy, and JLongBone. JLongBone, say hi, please.
That's a little fucking squeaker.
Okay. Yeah, this is a great day. This is a great day for me. Anyway, so we've all seen the No Way Home trailer. We've all seen the No Way Home trailer, right?
Yes.
All of us have seen it?
Yes, I think
Yeah.
all chat has seen it too. If not, we can just wait around for 3 minutes and let them catch up.
You know what? No. If they haven't seen it, they won't ever see it. Anyway,
Okay.
so
Just look it up on fucking Google.
yeah, that. If you haven't seen it, go see it. So what did you guys
Support the
think?
official release.
Okay, before we say anything else, what did you guys not like about this trailer?
That it's probably gonna be dog shit no matter what.
How
Yeah.
Spider-Man, on hearing that everybody's going to forget, immediately says, "No, I don't want everyone to forget," and not just saying, "Oh yeah, I can just retell people." Like, I'm sorry, I just don't know why the fuck he's caring about. Hey, everybody's going to forget. I can't tell them.
No, I
Cases.
thought of another thing that annoyed me. Why is it that this is a problem? You saved half the fucking universe. Why does New York hate you?
That's a good point.
Yeah, over one guy. It doesn't make any sense. Over one guy they weren't really sure was a hero to begin with.
Over one guy that we now know was confirmed to be trying to steal effectively what was Tony Stark's legacy.
You know,
Mhm.
the funny thing about Mysterio is he wasn't even that popular in the first place because Peter hadn't even heard of him.
Well, this is the whole problem with Far From Home's plotline, because they're like, "Ah, yes, we're going to tease you guys with the fact that there's multiple universes, but hey, there's this thing called Disney Plus, and it kind of destroys any opportunity for that to have been a funny joke, because that's when we thought there was one timeline. Now there actually are multiverses. There legitimately could be a multiverse Mysterio now, but does it fucking matter? No, it does not, because that was that story, and this is this story.
I like how
and,
where Parker messes up the spell and like the fucking trailer is like so out of character for Spider-Man. It's not even funny.
Well, okay, no, wait, pause. I'm gonna say right now, Amy, I don't think it's out of character for either Spider-Man or Doctor Strange. MCU Spider-Man is
I'm talking about like out of character versus like comic book Spider-Man.
oh no, comic book Spider-Man did the exact same thing.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Are we
We're talking
New
about-
Spider-Man
it's
or
like-
before Disney buy?
No, like
We're talking like Madam Web style kind of shit.
back in like
Yeah.
2000 what? This was 2010 or 2009. When was One More Day again? I don't know why Amy's voice is so low. She's like I have her turned up all the way full.
I think it's 2009, but I
But-
mean, the MCU Spider-Man isn't even. I don't even fucking like him. He's literally Spider Bitch or
Yeah.
fucking like.
He's Iron Boy Jr.
Yeah,
No,
Iron Boy Jr.
In 2009/2010 is when Disney bought Marvel.
Oh, okay, so Disney bought Marvel right around One More Day. That's weird.
Yeah. And
Huh.
One More
Because-
Day was actually co-opted by Disney. So.
Like it's one of the ones that people hate
So that's what I
repetitively.
mean
So
by it's out
yeah,
of character. It's
Yeah.
out of character for like before Disney buy.
Look,
Yeah,
like
it's also
that-
out of character for Spider-Man to be off his mask for 90% of the film.
Okay, look, the funny thing is, the last decade or so, oh, whoa, Credexy, thank you for tipping $5. Spider-Man did the
I
Spider-Man.
just turned my microphone up.
Okay, so the funny thing about Spider-Man for like the last decade or so has been written very badly. Like, just terribly.
Besides this, wait, Sam Raimi movies were in the 90s, right?
I'm-
Or was that 2000s?
you're thinking of Sam Raimi.
2000s.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Okay.
Like the good Spider-Man films, yes, that was Sam Raimi. That's around the early 1990s, transitioning to the early aughts.
I also don't know why they're... Okay, is it just me, or has Uncle Ben never even been mentioned in the fucking MCU?
No, he was mentioned like
footnote.
he was mentioned like once, I think, in Homecoming. He was like, my uncle always told me to do good things or something when he was talking to the fat kid.
Like we had an entire podcast about this where you laboriously wanted to compare all the Spider-Man to each other, and one of the things I can at least say the MCU did right is like skipping the whole let's go through the Uncle Ben shit again.
Okay, yes, we didn't need Uncle Ben. Like we didn't need like a flashback or like even just acknowledging he really existed properly.
Yeah, I didn't want to see a flashback. However, just seeing flashbacks of him and Uncle Ben, of just saying, this character is real. We did not forget about him.
Yeah, but here's as I say that, though, here's the thing. They traded in Uncle Ben for Father Tony.
Yeah, like literally, Tony is literally Peter's father figure. Like every major development, every piece of growth Peter has gone through, it's because of Tony.
Yeah.
If you think that's bad, they're bringing in Ruby Williams right fucking now. They have discarded the smart black woman.
That's another thing I did not like about the trailer, right? Is just they didn't show any of the other Spider-Man.
They want it to be a surprise or whatever.
They're covering them up, so they don't show them. They just want to imply that they're there by
then,
bringing in all these other villains.
Do like a logo mashup, like a zoom in on the chest logo.
Actually, there's something I want to ask Jay real quick. Like, wait, Amy, 1 second. There's one thing I want to ask Jay real quick, but like before I ask that, the funny thing is, someone actually made a really great point on Twitter today. They were like, the funny thing about the suit Peter is wearing in the trailer is the same suit Raimi Peter had on in Spider-Man 3. And his point was that this movie might just have the villains think MCU Peter is their Peter. Like, they'll see their Peter on his face, and those actual characters will not be there.
Gay. That's really gay.
That's dumb.
That's super
I'll
gay.
never watch another MCU movie ever again.
Like, that's just
that makes sense.
Okay, I want Jay's opinion. Jay, what do you think about that idea?
See, like, here's the thing. Like, this Spider-Man has basically he's like a secondary character in all of his movies. Like, every time they always bring in Tony or there's always some character they bring in to bolster him. And it's like, and it's the same thing here. They're just bringing in all the Raimi Peter and the Andrew Garfield Peter, and it's just using to bolster him up because they've made a really boring Spider-Man. So this plan just feels like it sounds clever on paper, but like when you see what they've done with them thus far,
Jay, you there?
Give it a second. Her internet might have dropped.
Okay. No problem.
That happens from time to time.
Yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing. Here's why I think, like, they would actually do that.
They're lazy as fuck?
Well, no, not because they're lazy. It's because that they think that would be subversive or that would be an interesting new idea, forgetting the fact the whole reason people are excited is because of the nostalgia. They think these Peters are going to meet up. They think Peter is going to learn, have people to look up to other than Tony. They think Peter is going to progress past himself. But no.
I'd like to bring up the fact that there was a supposed leak that we were given about the original form of, I think, the first 2 rights of the script.
Okay.
Basically, there was... For a second there, I had to be worried because my screen went dark because I didn't move my mouse. I thought my fucking internet went out. But there was a version of the script that was written that supposedly says that at some point in the film that Ned is going to be killed by one of the villains, and that one of the Spider-Men, I think it's the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, was going to be killed, and that he and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man would live, and it would be a learning, teachable moment for Spider-Man to really come into his own, question mark, because it's like, in every single Spider-Man's story, there is a character that is integral in some way that's supposed to die that makes them important. In the MCU, I don't think we have anything better than Tony's death. In Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield's death was basically first the captain or the lieutenant Cooper, and then Gwen herself, and then in the Raimi universe, it was just Uncle Ben and then a couple of incidental characters along the way, here and there. And pretty much the plot line was going to be multiverse shit happens. They are able to basically have an Into the Spider-Verse with this Peter. Peter meets the OG Raimi and the Amazing Spider-Verse characters. They bring in like 2 or 3 or so characters to like tie them into the story. The original version that they were going to go with was that it was supposed to be some interdimensional prison that he has the villains locked up in, and that the MCU Peter gets tricked into opening the lock for. And
I remember that leak. I read that.
It's supposed to be their version of the Sinister Six, and it's like all this big shit, and it was supposed to basically be the better parts of the Into the Spider-Verse mixed with better parts of a bunch of different storylines, with like salvaging or epiloguing, I guess would be the word, the Spider-Man, and giving them the opportunity to basically come into their own versions of the characters past what we got with their final cutoffs. A better version of MCU Spider-Man interacting with a better version of Spider-Man 3 post-credits Peter, and a Amazing Spider-Man 2 post-credits version of Peter to interconnect and make it not garbage. It sounds okay because then you actually have stakes. Like, ooh, somebody died. Ooh, it's one of the friend characters. Ooh, it's the fat boy. Stakes. Shit. Stuff. But this, it's like, oh, I need you to cast a spell for me. I want people to forget. And it's like, okay, but why? And also, why? And why are we here? What the fuck's happening? What even is this? Oh, Alfred and Morena. That's it. That's it.
See,
that's the entire thing.
This MCU Spider-Man, regarding that, no matter what they try to do, slice it, dice it, cut it, or make it different, this MCU Spider-Man will always just be my least favorite. He went from being the guy on everybody's comic book pillow, fucking toy billboard, to like some fucking side bitch character from
Actually,
Tony Stark.
Amy, can I say there real quick? Like, the funny thing about MCU Peter, ever since Homecoming, people have just been calling him White Miles. So the reason they've been calling him White Miles is because originally in the comics, Miles Morales, he was basically a black, boring Peter Parker.
He's not basically, he is.
Okay, he was black, boring teenage Peter Parker. And it wasn't until like the Spider-Verse film came out, that he actually became his own person. And not just...
No, actually,
honestly, if it wasn't for the Spider-Verse films, I would have never known about
exactly.
Morales.
The problem with Miles Morales is not, it wasn't until Into the Spider-Verse that we know. This man is still not a fucking character.
Okay, look, listen.
He is not...
In his own comics now, he is more of a better character than he used to be. Anyway, back to the point about White Miles. The reason they also called him White Miles is because he was dating a black girl, and he was also like Miles, who's dating like a black girl, and he also has his friend is just Miles' friend. MCU Peter has Miles' friend with a slightly changed name.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you make every single MCU character into Spider-Man. I've talked about that before. And there are people going to be like, what? No, they're not. It's like, yeah, they are. Every single character in the MCU quips. Every single character in the MCU wants to be a badass.
1 second, pause. Carl, listen. Idiot Tosin, he said MCU Ned is basically new. The funny thing is, he's not a new character. He is in Ultimate Comics. He's Miles' friend. They literally took Miles' friend design and personality and made him Peter's.
Because they needed representation, don't you know?
The funny thing is, all they would have to do is wait a few years because of Endgame and because of skipping 5 years into the future, Miles Morales is probably almost Peter's age by now. which is really weird because Miles was like 8 or 10, and now it's 5 years later, so he should be. It's weird to have Miles and Peter so close to the same age.
And that's funny because they did indeed bring in fucking Childish Gambino
As Prowler,
his uncle,
which
And
I
it's
love.
like,
I love.
Where are we going with that? Is that ever gonna be a thing? Is that coming back?
Honestly, at this point, I have no idea how they're gonna do it.
Like, I didn't forget. Jeremy Johns didn't forget. The Canadian Lad didn't forget. Every single reviewer that has ever looked at an MCU product is just waiting for these things to come in. That's why most people are at least watching the Disney Plus shows.
Look,
it's like a waste of time.
Honestly,
basically.
I think at this point, the only way they could, like, if you introduce Miles anytime, like, soon, he'll be, like, you can't have Miles and Peter too close to the same age. It'll just be weird. Like, Peter's whole thing was that he was an adult and he could mentor Miles. But now, if you have Miles is like 14 while Peter is 17, 18, that's just iffy, you know?
I wouldn't say it has to be iffy because of age range. It would just look fucking stupid. And the reason it would look fucking stupid is because Peter's not his own fucking character.
Yeah, that's true.
He'll never be his own fucking character, and they'll say they stop doing this second banana bullshit. But they can't stop doing it because who the fuck's going to watch a Spider-Man film? They don't watch the Spider-Man film because of where they're going with the character of Peter Parker, which is the reason why he feels like White Miles. He doesn't have a character of his own that stands on his own, because every single time he was introduced, even in his introduction, he was introduced as this kid that was brought in by Tony.
He was introduced as he was introduced as Tony's sidekick. Yeah, that's true.
With Tony gone, their opportunity to do that was in Far From Home, but they decided to bring in Mysterio, who then basically became evil Tony.
Yeah.
And now, with No Way Home, you have him teaming up with Doctor Strange because what? You don't have any other person other than Scarlet Witch that can do Multiverse of Madness bullshit? Because that's technically the actual reason why it's happening. They don't
Or they could have used the situation to build up his character and have him just deal with people hating him.
Yeah.
Improve his innocence.
Wait, no. The funny thing is, Jay just brought up an amazing point. Spider-Man is almost always hated in the comics. This would have been the perfect time to just have him get used to being hated and, like, still work to help people despite it.
Oh, but you see where the MCU, though.
Wait a minute. Where have I seen that concept before? Getting used to being hated and then just, owning the haters, lol W or some shit.
I mean, that's everything. That's all Spider-Man always does. Like, New York tends to hate him almost all the time.
But you see, here's the problem.
I thought you were talking about the other concept of just acknowledging that you have haters, like the other fucking...
Like, I'm about to piggyback off of what Amy's saying, because there's two versions of this. Yes, Lotto.
No, I'm asking what Amy's referencing.
I'm telling you what she's referencing. She's talking about these two ideas, no waiting. When Amy says dealing with the haters, what we think, because we're not dumb Marvel writers, we think, yes, we can write a grounded human street level story like what we got with the Netflix Marvel films. I say films, but series. That gets you into the mindset of, okay, what's happening in New York right now? Get away from the Avengers shit, because we're not with the Avengers right now. Let's talk about Spider-Man, his character, and how New York's about to deal with the fact that, this lanky-ass white dude is Spider-Man. How does he handle it? What happens because of it? What are the actions for it? Basically, what's your third idea for a plot line? Because this is like the idea of them constantly making characters right now in the comics gay. Because when you see them do that, it's like, okay, you made him gay. So what's your third storyline? Because all they thought of, we made him gay. He's ours now. You can't have him anymore. But it's like, you made him gay. He comes out to his friends. He comes out to his family. He tells the girlfriend he's dating. He talks to the dude that he apparently is sprung for. There's an entire plot line that's supposed to extend here from action 1 to action 2 to action 3. But what people are going to hear when they say he'll learn how to deal with the hate is the Marvel writer's way of thinking, or rather the comic book writer way of thinking, the social justice way of thinking, is they're going to say, yes, we need him to dunk on the haters. So clearly we're going to make him establish who the chuds are, and then we're going to destroy that demographic so they know that they're not allowed to have fun even while they're watching this film. That's the problem. The first problem is they can't get away from doing Avenger level shit, because that was another issue with Far From Home. Why does it need to be a Avengers level threat? because they need to bring in the Avengers somehow. And now we need to establish, without them, who is Spider-Man. And even then, they still shack it up.
You know what? No, 1 second. Do you guys remember? You guys remember like what the big threat of the first Spider-Man movie was? The Raimi Spider-Man movie.
The Goblin.
Like it was Green Goblin, threatening to drop a cable car full of kids. That was the big threat.
Mhm.
Like that, people still hung on to that. Like the city didn't need to be about to explode. There didn't need to be a giant beam in the sky. The multiverse wasn't at risk. It was just a cable car full of kids and a final fight between him and Green Goblin. That was it.
Wow. Imagine good storytelling. Who would have thought?
Like
Realistically, when you really get down to it, the problem
Because that's things like that sounds like things like Green Goblin would do. Drop a
Yes.
cable car full of kids. Like
absolutely.
imagine if like they make a movie with Green Goblin and they're like, oh no, it's an Avenger level threat.
Because ironically enough,
Because he might blow up the city.
because you could consider Spider-Man as probably one of the few Thanksgiving movies, you can understand that the entire driving narrative of all three Spider-Man Raimi films is the connections between the characters. The fact that eventually James Franco will learn that he's the reason why his dad's dead. Eventually, the connections between how Gwen and the confliction between MJ will come to her being basically pushed along and led along by what is struggling with Peter, and how Peter will start struggling with his internal drive and whether or not he is who he is. All of that was important for the Raimi films. You could call them clowny because they were the start of cape shit,
I mean,
but
I
they
wouldn't
had
even
something.
I wouldn't even call them. I would call them kind of like corny in a good way.
The word would be dated, but it's the effect of its time. It works. They find a way to make it work, and it flows. This shit with the MCU, every single film has to be some kind of escalation because they don't understand.
You know what? No. Not, it's not even the escalation. It's the fact that how do I put this? Like I rewatched the Raimi movies like a few months ago. And I noticed. Well, I was in the hospital, so I kind of had nothing to do but be on my phone. So I rewatched the movies. And I was just thinking, wow, like, sure, this isn't the most dangerous threat. Like, it's relatively normal. There's superheroes. But this is relatively low-level threats. But I still care about it. In fact, it was only in Spider-Man 3 when they had, like, Kaiju Sandman and Alien Venom. I was like, okay, yeah, they pushed up the escalation a bit too much. But even then, like, I was like, they didn't need to have the universe destroyed for me to care about what's going on here.
Well, in this case, it's more like with the consideration for what this film's doing compared to Spider-Man 3, that still goes back to characters. The entire idea of Bully Maguire being an entire personality change that made Peter have an internal confliction with how he was going to deal with the Venom suit, and then separating from the Venom suit, the fact that his hatred with not Flash Gordon, thinking of the other character, the bitch ass face played by Topher Grace.
Okay, look. All I'm gonna say, like, yes, Topher
Brock,
Grace.
there we go.
Topher Grace's Eddie Brock was not very Eddie Brockish to me, but I still hated him. Like Topher Grace plays very good annoying characters. I'm gonna give him that.
Very pedantic characers.
I
Kind
give
of
you-
like you, but white.
Okay, first of all, you know, okay, the funny thing is, I'm gonna tell you a funny joke right now. So, like, you know, American Ultra, that movie where Topher Grace played the villain.
Yes, it was
Like,
a good film.
I was watching it with my girl, like, and she was like,
Wait,
"Why?"
American Ultra? I've never.
American Ultra.
It with Jesse Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart, and
Jesse
Topher Grace. So basically, like, she was like, we were watching it together, and she just kept looking at that guy, and I was like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "Why do I feel like you're on screen?" I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, he talks like you, he acts like you, like those jokes, that being a dick, that's like classic." You're like, "Why are you insulting me when we're watching a movie together?"
Because that's the normal Poe greeting.
Like, she was like, "I'm not insulting you. I'm just that's you on screen."
Who gets wrecked alive by his own girl.
Black man gets reamed dry. Big BB.
And the
internal.
no, like the funny thing is, like, like I couldn't even be mad because like I liked his character. Like I liked Topher Grace's character in that movie. I thought he was funny, and so I couldn't even be mad at the fact that she was calling me a giant dick.
Well, you are, but more importantly, to get back to the point, the problems that come out of this kind of scaling that I'm calling it, it's not that it has to be some giant threat that makes things important, because that's just very lazy writing. That we all know that's Disney Plus writing, and that's Disney writing in general. But you can compare this to something like Luke Cage. Season 1 was realistically all about the struggle of the streets, the soul of the internal black man, and what it means.
I'm gonna say I don't know what happened in the MCU's Harlem for it to still be so black.
They had a whole insurgency of people who came from Wakanda. It's a good explanation of this.
Wakanda
Oh
forever.
wait, maybe because of the alien invasion, all the white people moved out.
Alien gentrification. Alien gentrification. Okay, but yeah, in season 1 of Luke Cage, and I guess you could maybe say for a part of it dealing with Bushmaster in season 2, before that actor fucked off to American Gods to go be fucking Baron Samedi. The entire point of Luke Cage is, what does it mean to be an urban inner city dweller, and what does it mean to be quote unquote black in America? That was the entire struggle between.
They
Luke
should not have
Cage
killed Cottonmouth,
and
though. I'm going to say that. I was going to say
Yes,
they should not have killed Cottonmouth.
They should not have killed Cottonmouth. And the reason why is because as soon as they introduced Diamondback, you're like, oh wait, that's right, I'm watching a fucking Marvel show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, they should have saved him for season 2. Because that type of revelation, like, oh, I'm your brother, that's actually some season shit.
Like that should be a no. You know what? Diamondback. The funny thing is, I feel like Diamondback should have been season 3 because season 2, Luke at the end of season 2, Luke Cage was a gang. He was a gang lord pretty much. Like gang lord brother against crime lord brother would be an epic thing.
It's more like gang lord.
Brother.
It's begrudging gang lord who takes control of it because he doesn't understand the streets, versus gang lord brother that lives the streets, breathes the streets, and is the streets. The literal difference of book smart and street smart. That is the point of Luke Cage versus Cottonmouth. Someone who had to learn to deal with the darkness of the street, and someone who didn't have to see the darkness of the street, but understands the darkness in the world. Being able to walk into a room and just take bullets, not be hurt, and say, no, this is my rule now. And then have somebody like Diamondback come in with the, what did they call it? The Judas bullet?
Yeah,
and
the
be
Judas
able
bullet.
to penetrate his, what was the fucking name of the goddamn sea creature? I can't remember. The way that he gets his hard skin. That kind of thing.
Also,
It's some kind of fucking sea creature shell. It doesn't matter.
wait, no, one second. Carl, you remember how, like, what's his name? The Bushmaster, like, basically knocked down Luke Cage, like, made him hurt?
But see, that's the thing, though. That's supposed to be a Jamaican Haitian that's doping. It's similar, but different. The idea they were going for was, can we get him somebody who's, like, an opposite of him, but with similar abilities?
No, I mean, what I'm thinking is, like, if they had kept what's his name, a Diamondback until season 3, they could have saved his power up, like Luke Cage's power up for later.
Did he really get a power up?
He got a power up from the second bath, yeah.
I guess maybe, but then they would have had to get rid of, I guess, Daughters of the Dragon, and also get rid of the Power Man team up with Iron Fist, which was very, very strange. Which is another problem that happens to be a very serious thing when it comes to them writing the Netflix show. The back and forth with using, what was the actor's name, Luke Finn, for Iron Fist is very bad because he did not want to do any choreography training and he didn't want to do any stunt practice. And not even that.
That guy, he just did not. He did not feel like a very good. He did not feel like I could not buy his acting at all. He was always like breathing. He was always breathing real heavy every time he spoke.
Yes, because he didn't do he did no training whatsoever. In fact, the actress that they hired for Colleen Wing, she specifically went out of her way to do all of the combat training. It was a very famous interview that dropped like maybe a week and a half ago. And it affects everything in the Iron Fist, because how the fuck you gonna have a lead who has cuts of action scenes? And somehow we're able to get good scenes out of Luke Cage because you don't have to do all this fucking flipping and fighting and shit. This is street brawling, haymakers, punches, jumping men, shoulder tackle, midsection running at charge, and then slam into the ground. Not very hard. Outside of that, it's mostly acting. And that part they were able to land. When you get to season 2, you have this interloping with Misty Knight and the Night Nurse that just doesn't have to be there, and it's there because they knew it was going to get canceled. So they brought it in like, okay, let's bring in the team up so that they can have their moment, and then let's bring in their team up so they can have their moment. And then it's like, okay, well, where do we go from now? What the fuck? What are we doing here? Why am I watching this? Why do I care? Why did I waste my money on Netflix?
And then there was a scene where the guy admitted that he was gay for the other guy.
Wait, which part was that? Which part was that?
So weird. The guy, oh god, the Shades guy.
Yes.
That was very weird.
The boyfriend to Black Mariah.
That was like the whole boyfriend with Black Mariah, Shades being gay thing was just odd. I was like, where did this come from?
However, while we're on that note, Black Mariah, perfect casting.
Honestly, I'm not gonna agree with you. I'm not gonna agree with you on that one. I think the mom that played, I think the one that played Black Mariah's mom or aunt would have been a better Black Mariah.
You're saying that because she was fat.
I am saying that because she was fat.
I'm saying that she's a perfect Black Mariah for the same reason that we give Viola Davis all of the shit when it comes to her character in DC. And she's supposed to be fat too. The problem is that we have to get actors that can be the character, but at the same time are actually delivering the energy of them. I would prefer it if they could put on some goddamn weight, but you're not going to see them do that.
True.
At that point, might as well hire me and Jay. I'll put on a push-up bra.
Shut up, Carl. Shut up, Carl.
You homo.
Oh my god.
I'm on the internet. Being gay is completely required.
You know what? No, actually, that's very true. If you're not at least a little bit gay, you can't be on Twitter. It's the rules.
Oh, so you do admit you're gay?
I mean, isn't everyone?
Not as gay as you.
Shut up, Carl. You're gayer than me.
No. No, I am not, actually. You are gayer than me. I'm nappier than you.
I don't know.
Because I have hair!
First of all, I like my hair short, okay? I like it short.
Scalp?
Yes.
You like it scalp?
Yes. I don't enjoy, like, look, here's the thing. If I could control when I grow my hair all over my body, I would be hairless until I was like 40 and decided it was time to grow a beard.
Okay, that's too much information.
Give Poe a break. He likes looking like Shaq's thumb.
Yes.
You know what? You guys are not fair to me. I'm gonna say this anyway.
Okay, not fair to you? You should hear what the fuck she says to me. You're getting it easy.
Look, every single time I do a podcast, someone has to throw something, whether it's my Twitter, whether it's my past, whether it's my behavior. I always get it.
Because sometimes you just need to be told about yourself and you never learn. So we have to constantly tell you. It's a reminder. One day of these days, you're going to wake up and you're going to see me in the mirror and it's not going to be a reflection.
Wait, what?
What?
I'm saying I'm gonna break into your house at night and wreck up the place.
I know, but like, why would you still be there in the morning?
Because I want you to see it, and then I'll walk out.
Because look, like when you said that, I had like 3 different thoughts in order. Like, oh wait, I'm gonna wake up in the morning and see him, and it's not gonna be a reflection. Wait, okay, 1, is he gonna kill me? 2, is he gonna rape me? 3, why is he still in my house?
Okay, I can answer all 3 of those. Number 1, no. Number 2, no. Number 3, I'm gonna make breakfast. I'm gonna leave it in your bed. I'm gonna eat my breakfast, and then I'm gonna walk out the front door. You're gonna try to tell
Why would you make breakfast for me?
Because I'll be hungry.
I don't even eat breakfast.
and you should at least get a good breakfast in the morning.
I don't eat breakfast.
You're gonna go to the police and you're gonna tell them, help, there's a crusty, dusty black man that was in my house. And they're gonna be like, sir, you're talking about yourself. And they're gonna drive you crazy. And then I'm gonna show up once you're in a straitjacket and be like, you see? I told you that I was better than you.
Look, here's the thing. You're assuming that I would go to the police with that instead of just retaliating.
How?
I
won't be there.
By finding your house and
Wait a
doing the
minute.
same thing.
Why are we talking about this?
I don't know!
We got deep into rusting
Yeah,
throw and couldn't stop. Back to the topic at hand.
Isn't it like 60% of rape victims don't report their predators? Like, Poe, you would not be reporting anyway. Like, you wouldn't even report it. You wouldn't do anything.
Okay, first of all, I would not report it. I would not.
Emotional trauma and then like fucking I don't know, die 10 years later.
Look, I don't.
Oh, you're the type of person who would say that it's gay to report being raped.
No, listen, I don't.
You want to report it?
I still think my example is the best example.
Listen.
Poe was the type of person to get flashbanged and then get unflashbanged while strangling a child.
First of all, I don't do emotional trauma. I just
Yes,
move
you do.
I don't do
You
that.
are emotional trauma.
Your entire Twitter profile is giving people emotional trauma.
Okay, yes, but I like to see other people suffer. That's a different thing.
Poe gets flashbanged.
That's
flashbang
not
wears
better.
off. Wait, why am I strangling
And
a
that's
child?
also why you deserve to have it. You need to have some trauma so you can straighten the fuck out.
I'm very straightened.
No, you're
The
not.
Nigerian kid walks up to you and says, I'm very straight, unconditional, I've never had any emotional problems in my life.
Look, I didn't say I didn't have any emotional problems. I said I never had any emotional
This is why you
trauma.
don't believe Nigerian kids, they're all fucking liars.
Why did we get so racist?
They'll be like, no, I totally didn't see a man die or get no emotional trauma from him. I'm a tough guy.
Oh my god, guys, we're supposed to be talking about Spider-Man, not me.
Hey, I said we should gotta get back to the topic. Hey, continue.
You started it.
We went from Spider-Man to Poe saying he doesn't do emotional trauma to Carl talking about being some kind of helpful homie Candyman. I mean,
Hey, don't
This is
give
what people
Disney
sign
my
up for when they
ideas.
watch
Wait.
this podcast.
What happened if you say single player Carl in your computer 3 times?
you get sexually assaulted. I haven't nutted for 15 years. Give me that chocolate.
You wake up in the middle of the night, hot and sweaty and reeking of chitlins.
Chitlins? Wait, who actually eats I've never known a single person to ever actually eat chitlins. I've heard people talk about them.
No.
Never seen a single person eat them.
You wake up sweaty in the middle of the night and you smell a Popeye's chicken sandwich behind you. It's just Carl standing there.
You're all.
And he's already inside you.
Oh my god. You know what? I feel like if we were characters in the MCU, Carl would be Ant-Man.
This is that's Carl.
Okay, let's get back on topic. Okay, but if I was a character in the MCU, who would I be?
I don't know.
You fuck. What does that one guy who did like the huff the internet gas?
Oh my, he's not even in the MCU. Shut up, Amy.
Who's that one guy who huff the internet gas? That would be you.
Carl, I have a question. When you're cooking Poe shit, right? Are you going to be cooking pantsless or shirtless?
You know
Are you going
what?
to be cooking without pants or without a shirt?
Well, you see, the way that I cook in my house is I cook with no shirt, but with full pants. Because you see, oil is not a fucking joke. And that shit pops back on you. You're going to feel it. And you know, I kind of like my manhood, so I'm going to just cover that shit up.
Okay, let's get back on topic. What did you like about the Spider-Man trailer?
They're trying to do something kind of different.
Jay, what do you think?
The fact that I'm gonna Willem Dafoe be Gobby again, and that's about it.
Yeah.
be honest.
Alfred Moreno and Willem Dafoe. That's about it.
Yep.
Oh, also, there's apparently a rumor that you remember that line where Doctor Strange says you need to stop living two different lives.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, there's a rumor that because there's a Spider-Man issue that came out like a year or two ago. I think last year, where Spider-Man gets caught up in like some explosion and he is split into two people. One is Peter, one is Spider-Man. So they think that's gonna be like a thing where,
Literally a scene in the trailer where fucking Doctor Strange punches his soul from his body.
No, that's just him forcing the astral projection onto Peter the way that the Ancient One did to him.
I think it's gonna be cool when
he's doing it because Peter needs to live two different lives.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
It's pretty obvious what that's telling there.
Okay, one more question. Favorite Spider-Man?
Still going to be Raimi.
Garfield.
fuck you.
I am never coming on this podcast again.
Amy, you didn't even say your opinion, and you're already judging me for mine.
No, Spider-Man is not supposed to be fucking cool. But Peter Parker is supposed to be cool. Peter Parker's supposed to be hurt,
first
you
of
wanna
all,
beat the shit out of him.
First of all,
let me answer it with this. Garfield Parker is a rapist.
What? How?
He's just a rapist.
How?
Oh.
I don't know. He looks like the type of guy to be a rapist.
Oh my god, Amy.
I was waiting for Amy to like set up an entire argument where it's like, well, you see, he tries to get into her pants by telling Officer Stacy he's gonna take care of his daughter, and then he gets Officer Stacy killed so he can fuck Gwen all he wants. No, she's like, no, he just looks like a rapist.
Oh my god. Like
he actually does look like one.
No, he does not.
His whole character speaks of like that one guy who was cool in school who like slept with 11-year-olds or something.
First of all, what guy is this?
Garfield's Peter Parker.
Oh my god.
Are you saying that because Peter Parker, as played by Andrew Garfield, looks and sounds like a rapist, or because Andrew Garfield looks like a rapist?
It just both.
Amy, I just wanna hold your mouth closed forever.
He's also a terrible Spider-Man. Fuck you.
First of all, he's a perfect. His Peter Parker may not be perfect, but he's a perfect Spider-Man.
Yeah, his Spider-Man is really good.
I can
His
say.
Spider-Man is,
Go ahead, Lotto.
I'd say his Spider-Man is like pretty solid because he's just the asshole that Spider-Man is, and it's just the perfect level. He's a shit Peter Parker.
To build on top of that, that is because Andrew Garfield, for the entirety of his tenure as Spider-Man, did everything in his power to learn the character inside and out, including reading every single comic that was available and making sure that he went off of the original comics with characterization of his Peter. Embodying
he did a bad job at it.
Oh,
that's because that was the studio fucking him, because he was giving them direction the same way that direction was being given to Netflix from Henry Cavill when he started doing The Witcher, because it's actually technically the same situation but different ways.
Did you say Henry Cavill?
Yes, Henry Cavill is a very big gaming nerd, and he did a
lot
of fucking research.
Pause.
Shut up! Shut up!
His name.
A lot. Shut up!
No, I'm not gonna shut up.
I'm telling you.
His name is not Henry Cavill.
Podcast where Poe Never Talks is the best podcast.
His name is not Henry Cavill.
No, you're not listening, Mo.
It's Cavill.
Cavill. I don't care. I know.
Like, why is he French? Why is he French? Why is he French all of a sudden?
That's how I pronounce his name.
Oh, you're French? That's why I can't stand you.
He did a lot of research doing The Witcher, but he got silenced by Lauren Hess Isrick, that decided to take his knowledge and then put it in the show and then make shit stupid off of what she wanted. What Sony did was they were given direction from him and from the director, and they said, no, this is not the vision we want for Spider-Man. We're going to change it to something that fits what we want. And they put on all that fucking garbage.
Can you imagine a company going like, we don't want the vision for Spider-Man like he's always been written. Let's completely change his personality.
You that's
He needs
basically
to be
no.
a hipster school guy who's cool with all the girls.
Listen,
He's like
listen,
a rapist, otherwise
listen.
he's not a
He's not a rapist. Let's throw that away.
It sounds like one.
Oh my god, listen. Like, you have to understand that the 2000 and 2010s, they were a glory day for comic movies. If we were go back to like 90s comic movies where like you would have like if they had tried to make like the MCU in the 90s, you would have Peter Parker be like a hard, tough wannabe gangster kid who shot webs from his mouth or something. And Uncle Ben
Man-Spider.
No.
Shot webs
No.
from a gun.
So
That
Man-Spider.
would never happen if it was written in the 90s.
do you not
Also,
remember how
no, that
90s
didn't
comic
happen
movies
in the 90s.
like
We
90s
remember
90s comic
the fucking cartoon show.
no 90s Marvel comic movies like the live action were ridiculous.
But Marvel
were
wouldn't have
ridiculous.
tried it because they were too busy doing dumb shit, and then also occasionally doing Blade, which was great.
Okay,
They didn't keep doing that.
Blade was very good. How do you feel about Marsha Ali in Blade?
Mashallah.
Marsha. Oh my
Marsha
god!
Muhammad.
Y'all fucking.
Marsha Muhammad.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up his fucking name so we can pronounce
Oh,
it.
also, one second.
Marsha Akbar.
Pocket
I
Evie
had it in my
said,
head, and like
Why-
everyone else mispronouncing it fucked me up.
"Why don't people want the secret identity thing anymore?" Listen, Pocket Evie, the reason the secret identity thing doesn't make sense for Peter in the MCU is because nobody else has one at this point.
Yes, because they're all just Peter, and they don't give a shit because this is the
That
problem.
is why
when
they
you
have
try...
no character development. They don't
And
even
the-
have
Mhm.
secret identity.
And this is the problem with two things. One, it's them needing merchandise, and two, it's them doing what Foxmen did to their characters, where it's less. Here's the characters as they appear in the comics with their comic accurate characters. Instead, we hired some actors, and now they have marginalized people who have been doing the voice role for years out of the role because instead of seeing them as they were originally created and drawn, the only thing we know is the version that we got with Huge Jacked Man. Also, his name is Mahershala Ali.
Okay, Mahershala Ali. Listen, okay, look.
Allah!
Listen.
Fucking bomb goes off. Just Taliban things from the last.
Oh my god.
Okay, look. All I'm gonna say about like Mahershala Ali as Blade is I feel like they're not gonna capture like you know how Blade, even though it was like an action movie, there was like an undertone. Like they knew how to like portray the jokes as part of the movie. You know? Like you know how the MCU they will make a deep moment and then just undercut it with a joke.
Yeah.
Like
I said earlier, everybody's Spider-Man. No one
Blade
shut the fuck up and stop squipping.
Blade knew how to separate. Like you would have a joke at the beginning of a scene, and then you would have the action and the events play out as they're supposed to.
It was more letting the environment breathe.
Yeah, true.
There's
True.
perfect examples like the hostile nightclub with the blood sprinklers. You don't know how the scene's gonna play out until you start seeing the blood sprinklers, and you're like, oh, everybody in the crowd's an vampire, and then here comes Blade, and he starts slicing motherfuckers up. Or the more iconic scene at the end of the film where he's cutting people apart with his fucking I forget what the weapon's called, the hand scythe boomerang thing, and he's cutting them up with his katana and shit. And
You
he
mean
hit-
the shuriken?
Yeah, I guess it's a shuriken. Glaive. That's what it's called. When it's when it's handled like that, it's called a glaive. Him in that scene and his entire motherfucker's always trying to skate uphill shit. You can't have jokes like that in the MCU. Not unless it's on a Netflix season or it's on a Disney Plus season. And even if they do it then, someone's gonna intercut it with a joke because that's what the MCU is now. Because they're pandering to the lowest common denominator, and these people need keys jangled in their face all the fucking time. Otherwise, they feel lost.
Yeah, I just can't wait for a PG-13 vampire film. Can't wait. All that blood and shit, chopping off limbs. We're not going to get any of that.
I mean, like Disney promised to keep a Deadpool rated R.
Oh my, the worst thing that Disney ever could have done was fuck up lightsabers.
Yep.
Oh wait, by the way, before like considering we're
Because
still
they Disneyed Star Wars so much that lightsabers are now useless, trash,
Wait,
garbage.
what do you mean? What are you talking about?
Lightsabers are no longer deadly.
How are they no longer deadly?
Did you not see the scene where fucking Kylo shit fucking ran a lightsaber up fucking what's his name's back and it didn't fucking kill him?
Honestly, I don't remember a single thing about the
Like that would kill somebody if it were like a Lucasfilm. It would kill them instantly. They'd be dead. Their spinal cord would be ruptured and they'd fucking die in
Well,
their pants.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
And instead they were like, he just got his entire spinal cord sliced into. He's alive.
Oh no! Also, Disney managed to take one of the coolest sci-fi scenes and piss everybody off with it. Fucking the holdo maneuver looks cool as fuck. Dumb as fucking Star Wars. Any other fucking sci-fi shit that would have been cool. Fucking ruined it.
Like the funny thing is they could I know a way they could have fixed it. They could have said, "Oh wait, this doesn't use a hyperdrive. It uses a different kind of experimental engine."
No, but that's your mind to write. Which the fucking writers at Disney have no fucking creative bones in their fucking body.
They
I
literally
don't remember Finn's fucking name because he's so irrelevant.
Wait,
remember when Finn was a stormtrooper, escaped the stormtroopers, said that he was a stormtrooper, and then proceeded to mow down his fellow comrades?
Yes, they constantly brought that up. Okay, but guys, like we're running like up until like we're almost basically about to hit the hour, and this is supposed to be like 30 minutes. But have you guys seen the new Marvel game, the new Marvel XCOM game?
It's dog shit.
I don't give a shit. I haven't seen gameplay. I don't give a shit. It is saying that this is a new game. Cool. Show me gameplay.
Wait, do not talk about Force Heal because we all know that was bullshit. It takes fucking millennials to master that shit, and Ray did it like fucking instantly.
No, don't you remember how they said that she downloaded the Force?
And
he downloaded the Force.
Yep. No, I fucking Disney Star Wars.
You have virus on your computer.
See, hey, say what you will about the prequels. At least we got good shit out of the prequels. You can't say that about Disney Star Wars. The best thing we got was a 6 out of 10 movie. The best thing we got.
I mean,
it ruined fucking Star Wars. This shit was trash.
That's a good point. Not gonna lie.
The fucking George Lucas should have never sold it to Disney. I feel bad for that motherfucker.
Oh my god, that's a good joke, Critexy. Marvel Midnight Suns. Oh god.
What?
People would have to actually watch Crimson Rogue to get that. So Stephanie Meyer wrote a companion book / an alternate version story.
Oh, yes.
One of them
I
was called Life and Death, and the other one is the book that she had on hiatus for fucking ever because someone leaked like the original chapters, and then she sat down and finally shed it out for some relevancy, called Midnight Sun, where she tried to use the euphemism and the mythology of Hades and Persephone as the explanation for why Twilight was what Twilight was. But the problem is it doesn't fucking work because it makes his character and a whole bunch of scenes even fucking worse in comparison. It not only makes his character into a goober, it just makes you think, damn, Edward is just a fucking rapist.
Speaking of Disney-fying movies, I'm surprised they even greenlit cutting Thanos' hand off when they ran up on him on that planet.
Cutting his hand off, cutting his head off.
Yeah, I'm surprised they even greenlit that.
You realize that all of these fucking films, if they're not general rated or fucking parental advisory, they're all PG-13. They literally only have exactly one fuck to give.
Oh my god.
Saints Row Fortnite edition. Oh my god.
What is it? I saw this fucking net. Every single franchise is tied to Fortnite.
That's because they're trying to get money.
The
only good Fortnite event was the DC crossover. You can't change my mind.
Yeah, no, Carl. Every single franchise is tied to Fortnite in some way. Whether it's like, oh yeah, this was referenced in this game, which was referenced in this game, which is referenced in this game, which is in Fortnite.
Yes.
There are 7 degrees of Fortnite. There's an actual thing that you can do. 7 degrees of Fortnite.
That fucking
I mean,
that one video, that one kid is saying that they copied Fortnite with the picture of George Floyd.
Yeah, it was funny as hell. But you see, I'd say it doesn't matter because the problem with that is that Epic they're literally bleeding money. Like in 5 to 10 years, there might not even be Fortnite anymore because they can't get people to be interested in the game. Because instead of making a good game, which I mean, battle royales are still kind of getting tired. Because do you really want to play?
Apex is doing pretty hot.
Oh no,
Every other
Apex is
game
fine.
fucking-
Apex is fine.
Carl, we need to
Specifically
play
Fortnite.
Apex.
I know.
I can't play Apex.
I've seen in the worst of that.
Carl, you know what's the biggest
Cole can never
disappointment?
play Apex. His computer sucks.
You know what's the biggest disappointment from Fortnite? The Infinity Blade reveal being fuck all. I was expecting something to come of Infinity Blade, but nope. Not a console release, not a peep. They canceled the game. And they're like, yep, we're gonna put Infinity Blade in Fortnite, and nothing came of it.
Because it doesn't fucking matter. It was all crossover and promotion to
Remember
get
when the
people to play the
Fortnite
game.
leaks for like Peter Griffin Fortnite crossover was a thing?
Like all of those crossovers exist because they need to get money because the company can't make enough back on the kids that are stupid enough to pay for V-Bucks. That's it. That and social activism. The social activism cut them like 80% in their actual annual earnings.
No. You know what's funny? Okay, Fortnite is dying with all these major fucking events, and the Respawn team did like one event with Stop Asian Hate, and they got like a majority of their players back.
I mean, that was more like because
That
they
is a
ended up.
testament to how boring the game is. If one company does like social justice marketing and it doesn't work, but the other company does it and they actually gain players from
I mean,
it.
technically part of that, and I happen to know because when my homie Xavier was here and I was playing Apex on his Xbox, a lot of that was actually because they made a lot of changes and then brought back an original version of the map. And now they added that one dude that looks like William Knight.
Yeah.
So sad that he was not the voice actor. So sad. William Knight would have fucking been baller for the role.
Okay, look, he would have been amazing.
we still have live action JoJo. He can still be Poochie.
Anyway, guys, okay.
Why would you want live action JoJo?
Lotto, shut up. Lotto, shut up.
Fortnite.
Lotto, shut up.
No.
Okay, guys, we've had a great podcast. We've thank you,
It's
Jay.
only been 48 minutes. We still got a couple more minutes. We got
First
one
of
more
all,
minute of runtime, so shut up.
It has been 57 minutes.
It said started streaming 48 minutes ago. We haven't even hit 60. Fuck you.
I think you're
Are
looking
you
at the
implying
wrong
that
screen.
Something happened. Are you implying that something happened earlier, Paul?
No, I'm not. I'm looking at this stream only. It's been 58 minutes and 5 seconds. Anyway.
Why does it say started streaming 48 minutes? I don't like YouTube.
Anyway,
YouTube sucks.
thank you, Jay, for being here. You made this much better than it would have been otherwise, considering it would have just been me getting made fun of for another 15 more minutes.
I mean, I did make fun of you too. I mean,
Yes.
I mean, she jumped in too. What you mean?
Yeah, I threw my hat in there too.
Yes, but you also talked about other stuff with Amy and Lotto and Carl. It would have just been me being dumb.
No, I talked about it too. It's just like after we started talking about you, I'm like, all right, we're just gone. This is just a stream now.
Okay. Thank you for showing up. Thank you, Lotto, for taking time out of Splitgate. Thank you, Amy, for getting Carl. And I hope you enjoy Path of Exile, and I hope you guys have a great evening.
I can't enjoy it. It's
Thank you. Thank you.
And the stream, I gotta say, play Splitgate. It's fucking fantastic. These devs need money.
We're not sponsored by Splitgate. I'm not going to give them...
I don't
Possibly get a Splitgate sponsor.
Why don't you want to be sponsored by Splitgate?
Yeah, Splitgate is fantastic. The devs are base because they don't ban people unless you hack.
Anyway, thank you guys for being here with us. Please like and subscribe if you feel like it. I'm not going to force you. And I hope you'll be here with us on Friday again if we're doing something else. A short man, I'm not going to stream for 8 hours like Mahler, okay? Jesus Christ.
You know, at least 2 hours would be acceptable.
I feel like people don't like. I always assume people don't like podcasts to go on too long. That's why I keep it like an hour 20 at most.
They would no.
As long as there's entertainment, nobody cares how long your fucking podcast is.
More important, what the fuck do you mean? People don't like me. Have you not heard of Every Frame of Pause?
No, see the thing is, every time I hear about Every Frame of Pause, it's like
watch Every Frame of Pause.
Listen, no. I've watched Every Frame of Pause. Okay, look, I watched when Jay. Listen, can I finish, Carl? Can I finish? Listen, I watched Every Frame. I even watched episodes where Jay was there. But the thing is, like every time I hear people talking about Every Frame of Pause, they're always talking about how long it is and how what.
They're dipshit.
Can I just bring to
They
attention
they haven't watched the
that we barely like. There's one person in chat going, "We barely talked about Spider-Man. Have you not watched a single Digital Black podcast?"
And then Mueller comes in, and I can't do his accent, but he's like, "Well, welcome to Every Frame of Pause. We will talk about things. I will pause the screen, and then we will pontificate about whether or not they're going to be saying some stupid head-ass shit. And then we talk about it, and it goes on a tangent somewhere. And then when we start the video up again, they say the thing, we're like, oh, they understand. And then it goes on like that. And then I'm going to do it every single time someone does it. And then it moves on. And then it moves on. Like, we can go on tangents roasting you and come back to it, because that's part of the entertainment.
Okay. I promise from now on,
everyone's like,
we
keep
will be
prolonging the stream. Carl.
we will be doing longer. We will be doing longer streams from now on. Okay. In fact, on Friday we're probably going to be reacting to dumb TikToks. Thank you.
Yeah, that should be great.
Right up my avenue.
Thank you guys for making this podcast awesome. Good night.